So yesterday I was saying that LGBT people need to be looked at as viewed as second-class citizens. I did it. What I want to clarify in that statement is that I meant for them to be looked at by society. I think that everybody should have the same rights, same, whatever. Everyone should be treated equally when it comes to rights. But if the world's coming to an end and we have technology to get to another planet and you can only send 8 people, obviously there's not going to be any LGBT people on that ship. It's going to be probably 2 men and 6 women to try to repopulate. Unless you can use technology. But what I want to talk about is war, man. It's crazy. They're going to try to do the student loan debt relief for the young people. And if you're Gen Z and you vote for Democrats in this next election, it's basically like, dude, you're gonna go to the draft, man. They're gonna have to implement the draft. There's not enough people joining, and I don't blame them. There's gonna be a major backlash if there's a draft. Trust me, there's gonna be you're gonna screw the youth's future by taxing the hell out of them in the future, because they're gonna have to pay the principal on the debt if we continue with this currency, which I doubt. They're gonna hyperinflate this currency into nothing. And I want to talk about I really don't mind the idea of a currency that disappears if you don't use it after a certain amount of time. I know it sounds weird, but this is what I've been thinking about. There is a huge problem when you have wealth, like generational wealth, being distributed throughout generations of wealthy people. They don't know what work is. They can't relate to humans. There's not a struggle at all. Like a kid just getting $500 million put into his lap. It's just, they don't have to do nothing for themselves, and they have infinite money. It's just, it develops character to struggle a little bit, to earn things on your own. And if you already have everything taken care of in this life, what is the point of doing anything? That's my whole thing. So I'm not a big fan of passing down huge amounts of wealth to the next generation and them not having to work. Now you should be able to pass down some wealth. I'm for passing down some wealth. But just and people, honestly, on the right, you can disagree with me, but how many of you people are actually rich? How many of you are going to pass down millions of dollars to your kids and grandkids and great grandkids? Potentially some have billions that are being passed down. How many of us are realistically, how is this a regular person problem? This is a rich person problem. It's like rich men getting like, like a Jeff Bezos getting like billions taken from him and given to his ex-wife. Like, why the fuck do I care? That's never gonna be me. I'm just a poor fucking peasant. I don't like. Good. Who cares, man? I don't care about these people. These power couple celebrities, like, and I think that most of it's just for show and try to get clicks or whatever or views. But like the latest one is the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift power couple, which they never last. They don't have no time for each other. Like, if I was a celebrity, I'd want like a regular person that can go everywhere with me. Obviously, these two people cannot. Like, they're going to be spending a lot. They have a long distance relationship. And this happens a lot with these power couples. You got these ultra wealthy people. And it'd be one thing if Taylor Swift was like, I think I made enough money. I think I've accomplished enough. And you see some celebrities that actually do this because you haven't heard from them. People like me that are old, like, oh, what happened to them? Like, who's somebody that just kind of felt that was huge? I don't know, like Jessica Alba or something like that, where they don't really make anything that anybody, like big movies like they used to or whatever. But it's like, these power couples usually don't last. The relationship's too complex. And a lot of these people do drugs. I was listening to local guy here in Michigan, Terrence Popp. And they were saying how many of these celebrities, like these people in Hollywood, a lot of, like, I guess there's like some kind of list that shows like all the different STDs that these famous people have. And it's so weird, like the group of Hollywood, it seems like they all have like genital herpes. So, like, you see these celebrities, like, damn, I wish I had that person. I wish I could be with that person. I wish I could, like, I don't know, have a relationship, marry that person. I wish that person was in my life. I admire that person so much. And then you get that person and they give you a horrendous disease that won't ever go away. It's like, surprise, surprise. And it makes me wonder if, like, these Hollywood elites, they actually, like, had to get that to get where they're at. You know what I mean? Like, to kind of prove to whatever entities or group that they're worthy of. You gotta have like I don't know, this is conspiracy. This is stuff I've heard where, like, these celebrities have to do things that can be blackmailed on in order to propel their career. So if they do speak out against the establishment, the elites, they'll bring out this blackmailed info to smear these people in a bad light publicly. Don't know if it's true. I'm not a Hollywood elite, obviously. It makes sense to keep people in line and controlled. But yeah, if you, it's so funny. It's not funny because war is not funny, but, like, it's crazy that the left is supporting war at this point, and so is the right. A lot of okay, I want to talk about Ben Shapiro. Let me say this first. what Hamas was doing, what Israel's doing by killing innocent civilians, I think is absolutely disgusting. It baffles me that the Israel's intel, and I heard that Egypt tipped them off that this was coming, but I don't know if that's true. I don't know, just what I heard. But their intel was so bad that they could, like, this was a huge operation, and they had no idea this was coming. It's like, why? How do we have no idea this is coming? I mean, unless this is like, I mean, it took a lot of organization, what I'm saying. And I guess, like, they really kept it under wraps by not using technology. Maybe they used word like old school, passing information on through notes or whatever. They didn't use any new technology, so it was hard for the Secret Service or whatever, like the intelligence agencies, to figure out the Israel one. But that there's gonna be like this massive campaign against them, attack. But what Hamas did with how barbaric, and I think that Israel's barbaric too, for like drone striking or whatever, like blowing up innocent people. Ben's like, we need to wipe Hamas off the face of the earth. How about you go fight? All you people calling for war, you go fight. The Lindsey Graham, you go over there. You're saying, let's go to war. Let's go to war. Well, you should go over there. Drop these people off to go to war. It's easy to sit in your ivory tower and say we need to go to war because you don't have to go, but your kids have to go. So it's just like, if you're so gung-ho about going to war, well, you need to go and pick up arms and fight. No, but they just want to use our kids. Because, people like Ben Shapiro, his kids aren't going to have to go to war. Are you kidding me? Like, these rich people, their kids ain't going to have to go to war. They're not going to be on the front lines. No, people like me, my kids, they're going to be on the front lines. And I'll tell you what, if my kids get drafted, you damn well I'm going to be protesting. I might even just quit my job and just protest full time and just go bankrupt, because at that point it's just bullshit. And I will be like, okay, hypothetically, hopefully this never happens, but if my kids get drafted and something happens to them, I'm going to be extremely fucking pissed. Extremely fucking pissed off. At this fucking country. At this fucking country. I will not be a happy camper. And another thing I want to clarify too is, I was saying that there's probably going to be a terrorist attack on American soil coming up. I don't know of anything, FBI. I'm connecting dots because you people are letting the borders be open. And if I wanted to cause havoc in America and I didn't live here, it's pretty easy for me to get over. And you're worried about people like me instead of focusing on those people. That's why I say that there's probably going to be an attack here. Not because I have any information, not because I'm going to commit it. You FBI people, I guarantee you guys have been surveillancing me at some point. You know I don't have no contact with anybody. I'm just a person on my own. I'm not trying to join in any militias. I wouldn't mind joining a community, like a self-sustaining like community, but I'm not gonna be. We don't need to be violent. Violence is the worst thing we can do at this point. Self-defense, I'm for self-defense. Yes, self-defense. But going on the offense, if you're somebody on the right, if you're somebody that's a libertarian, it'll make you look bad. I mean, it's the left can do whatever they want. They can get away with whatever they want because the media frames it a certain way. And, you know, just like the insurrection, supposed insurrection on January 6th. But it's okay for, you know, leftists to occupy the Capitol, to invade the Capitol. They can do it. They just did it. Would they occupy Kevin McCarthy's office like a month ago or something like that? You know, the Brett Kavanaugh case where they rushed in. Are those people in prison for like 20 years? It's a two-tier system. This is unsustainable, and people like me are just gonna stop following your laws. And if we do it at mass, because half of America voted for Trump, half of and most of America, I think, they're not going to agree with my, like, extreme views, but I think most Americans kind of think like me. I think that most Americans don't have the correct information, and they don't really pay attention. They're worried about their own lives. They're worried about work. They're worried about their family, their relationships. They're not sitting here thinking about the news, thinking about world events, thinking about everything. Like a lot of people, I bet you a lot of Americans don't even know where Ukraine's at, or even Israel. But they're not pro-war. So it's just they probably would agree with more things that I say than the media if they actually knew the truth. Yeah, it's just you got CNN or whatever, MSNBC on in the back, or Fox News. You have one of these major, a lot of people just have it, and then they hear something like, but what I'm trying to say is, like, a lot of people would be voting for Trump. And you're gonna have people like if people on the left can get away with anything that they want and nothing's gonna be charged with them, and you're gonna lock up on people who are on the right for the same things and throw the book at them, you're just gonna have a mass amount of people just don't follow your fucking laws anymore. And then it's gonna get to that point. It's like, lock me up then, dude. What are you gonna lock up? 70 million people? You gonna lock up 75 million people? How? It's just, you gonna lock up half the country? Try it. Go ahead. Come after us. It's not happening. We still have our guns. We can still defend ourselves. They don't have enough people to put their authority down. If we could punch them in the mouth. Like, if the people organized and took back the government, because these politicians are so we elect them. It's our fault. But these politicians who want to act authoritarian, who want to have these strict lockdowns, who want to tell people that they can't assimilate unless not assimilate gather for grievances, they can't go worship in their religion. You want to tell people that they can't do that by disobeying the Constitution. Like this, what she have like some type of a gun ban in New Mexico, and you just all it takes is it doesn't even take the majority of the society to say fuck you. It just takes a large number of people that you can't just arrest us all. You might be able to arrest some of, at first, like, okay, we stop following your laws. Obviously, there's going to be people on the front lines that the first people will be, like, arrested. But, like, if people just say, fuck you, they can't arrest us all, man. They don't have enough personnel. They don't have enough policemen. They don't have enough military people. Who the hell wants to be a policeman nowadays? You couldn't pay me to be enough to be a fucking policeman. You couldn't pay me enough to join the fucking military and go fight these fights that just make politicians rich, or rich people more rich. That's all these wars are about. Like, you wonder why people don't want to join? Well, you forced a experimental shot on them. I don't really care about all the vax. I'm not anti-vax, dude. I'm not anti-vax at all. I just, when you come out with something brand new and then you want to go ahead and force it on people, and if you don't do it, then it's like, I'm not your guinea pig, man. I'm not your human guinea pig. Like there's a thing called, that's what they did in Germany in the 1930s and 40s. Dr. Death, he did that type of stuff. Joseph Mengele, he did that type of stuff. Human experiment. Like this is, I'm not your I'm not your guinea pig, dude. And honestly, I think I just had COVID. It ain't shit. It's like the flu, man. It's gonna be around. There's no need to fucking mask anymore. We don't have a huge death rate. We don't have the hospitals being overflow. We don't need lockdowns for it. We don't need lockdowns at all. But they want to continue locking us down. And you know what I think too? Like, I think that COVID, all those lockdowns, I think it really did affect people's psyche. You can see the dating market has completely changed. It seems like less people are available in the dating market. As far as women, there might be still a ton of men on there, but maybe that's a contributing factor of why women aren't really interested in men right now, because of that. But there's so much damage that those lockdowns caused our society. If we had something that was like Ebola, that had a high death rate, like 50% death rate, and it was highly you can transmit it really quickly, like COVID, I can get it, man, because I don't want Ebola. I don't want something like that. But like, dude, it was pretty much, I mean, at first we didn't know, but we found out pretty quickly, like within like a month, like April, May, that it didn't affect kids. It didn't kill kids. It didn't kill healthy people, healthy adults. It went after older people and people who have people who are unhealthy. So at that point, if you don't ever want COVID, then just isolate. Those people need to isolate, but you don't need to isolate the society in whole. And it comes down to protecting yourself. But COVID ain't shit no more, man. It really isn't. A lot of people have developed antibodies and their immune system can fight it off easy like me. That's why I think I had it. I don't know. But it ain't shit. It ain't nothing. And they try to continue to fearmonger, and like this seems like a social experiment. They want to see how many people will comply, how many people will fight back, how many people will rebel. Laws, commandments will only work if the people abide by them. If they come down with something crazy, like going against the Constitution, it's like New Mexico, blatantly, and nobody listens to them, or the majority of people just don't listen to them, they can't arrest anybody. Then their decree just goes whatever. It just goes away because they can't arrest everybody. And if they did, bitch, listen. I want you to look at my face and listen to this. If hypothetically people like me were gone, let's just say like we didn't fight back, you put us on the cattle carts and sent us to death camps, okay, what's gonna happen to your infrastructure? Who's gonna grow your food? Who's gonna process your food? Who's gonna distribute your food? Who's gonna distribute all your necessities and your resources? Because people like me are the ones doing the dirty work to keep this infrastructure going. You take us out of the equation, have fun being a third world country. Because you won't have running water, you won't have electricity, you won't have trash pickup. And, you know, these people who are elites in their ivory towers, you know, making $100,000 a year just like by journalizing on fucking Twitter or whatever. You think they're going to have it sitting in their apartments with no power? They're going to have to get their ass out and work and do these hard jobs. So you want to keep looking down on people like, that's what I'm saying, like this society looks down on people like me. For being like, I'm grimy, I'm not grimy because I'm very hygienic. But society doesn't take care of us. Society doesn't pay us enough. You know, like you might see me at the gas station, somebody like me, right? And I might be wearing some dirty clothes. Dirty looking clothes. They might be clean, but they have dirt on them. Or whatever, grease stains. Because I'm going to fucking work. We're going to work. And if we work a job that's dirty as hell, why are we going to be wearing nice clothes, expensive clothes to that job just to fuck them up? So we're going to wear clothes that's already fucked up. But you want to look down on us because of that. Because we get our hands like, it's just so backwards. Everything in the society. You got these people who sit behind desks and air conditioning and these comfortable climates who are just pampered in the society. These office workers who really, most of these people don't do shit. And they make more money than people like me who actually do the important shit to keep this infrastructure moving forward. And this is why you're seeing a lot of strikes with these unions. And I think that a lot of these demands from these unions are just a little bit too much, you know, like it's pretty ridiculous to expect a 40% raise and then only want to work 32 hours a week. Like, That's pretty ridiculous. Their demands should be, can we pay our CEO, or can we if you're going to give your CEO 40%, if you can afford that, I don't care if it's based off of how good the company's doing, they still got a 40% raise. Give it to me too. Well, if you can't afford it, then don't be giving it to your CEO. CEOs don't need to make $30 million a year. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn how big the company is. I don't care if it's Jeff Bezos. I don't care if it's the woman that's in charge of Twitter now. They don't need to make these huge salaries. They can make a couple million. That's cool, whatever, man. But like, it's just like, it's a slap in the face to the lower workers. And the funny thing is, like, it's almost like these people are like celebrities. It's like, when I'm at work, and I work for a big company, and they say, "Oh, the vice president's coming." It's like, they're almost like I gotta act like a celebrity. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. I don't care. Like, I'm starstruck. Like, I don't fuck. Like, you ain't better than me, dude. In fact, I'm probably more important to the company than you are. What does the CEO do? They ain't out here producing anything. They sit in fucking meetings, dude. You know, and I understand, like, they have, they're in charge of the direction of the company. But if the company is pretty much on automatic, or it's already doing good anyway, and you really don't have to do anything. You just sit back and just in cruise control and just, you know, because, like, okay, for instance, at my job, we don't need somebody with a whip behind us, like, get to work. We just need to know. We already do the job. As long as we're provided the resources, we know what we need to do. We come in there, and this goes across the board when it comes to manufacturing or jobs like mine. We just need to know what we're doing, what position we're doing. We might need a little training from somebody, but, you know, it seems like a lot of supervisors don't even do any training. They just have people like me train other people. And what am I talking about? But they really don't do nothing. They don't do nothing, man. Compared to somebody like me, I'm the one that's actually pushing product out the door. Everything's it should be pretty close to, you know, like, we don't need to have our hand held. If there's a major problem, okay, the supervisor comes in there, you know, they come and handle it. That's the only thing that we need. We really don't need our supervisors. We really fucking don't. They just sit in the fucking office, and I don't know what the fuck they do all day. But usually, if you got a good crew, which which companies should want, but it seems like companies want to go the cheap route. Oh, this guy makes too much now, so we want to go ahead and get rid of him and all of his experience, or her, and we want to bring somebody new in because we could pay them less, because this person's worked for us and been loyal to us for all these years. But it just makes more sense to get to push this person out, to get them frustrated, so they go somewhere else, so we can hire these new. The problem is they don't have the people to hire, because dude, the next generation don't want to work, man. They see the game, and it's like, dude, this game is completely rigged against me, man. Like, the next generation, it's messed up. It's so hard to buy a house. Like, there's no American dream. Like, what is this? And when you work at, and that's why it kind of felt like, this is what it feels like. This is what it feels like for me. It feels like I'm waiting to go back to work on my day off. That's what it feels like. for somebody like me, who's pretty careful with his finances, to me, it's it's an extreme luxury to go out and do fun things. So for a lot of people are probably in this position that I'm in, where they can't afford, because of high inflation, wages not even close to keeping up with inflation. They're having to spend all their resources, and this is what I've had to do for like the last 20 years of my life. Take all the resources I make from working hard at work and putting it towards my bills. Well, people are having to do that now, my position. And they're not making enough because they have prior obligation. Maybe they're stuck in a contract and they can't, it costs too much to get out of it. Well, you know, like a cell phone bill or some shit, or like a car note, a house, I don't know. They're actually having to throw debt to survive too. On top of that, on top of all the capital they make from their job, they have to throw debt at it too. And then you have people that's got to work multiple jobs just to get by. When you have to work more than 40 hours a week to survive, it's either you have too many expenses, too many liabilities, and you need to get rid of them, or society is not sustainable because the government's just spending too much money. That's what it is, man. There's too much welfare. People should not be on welfare. These people that are sitting on, like, we're just giving illegals that come here free stuff, and it's like, I've heard they were talking about on Timcast last night that these illegals that are in California are now getting free tuition. It's like, so like, what about Americans? You know, like, I'm not for reparations, okay, but I would rather pay reparations than pay for Ukraine or Israel or war with that shit. I'd rather pay Americans, because maybe, just maybe, we could actually build up here and maybe fix some fucking problems here, which I don't think that reparations would fix a lot of problems. I think some instances it would fix. It would, some. But a lot of other instances, I don't think it would fix. Because I know that what happens, and this has nothing to do with race, this is just human nature. When you throw a bunch of money onto somebody that isn't from money, that has never experienced money, what do? They start going and buying shit. Very irresponsible. And you could do a little bit, but like, you see it with the lotto winners, right? How the lotto winners, you see, like, in the past with like athletes or rock stars who just blow through their money, then now they end up bankrupt. They might be working jobs with me now because they've totally ruined their financial life. They can't handle it. A human can't, like, if you was just to throw like $500 million to me right now, I think I would be pretty responsible with it, because I'm an average person. I am, because, you know, there's nothing really special. I work an average job, but For the average person, they're not as financially savvy or educated as somebody like me. And I'm not that educated, okay? I'm not saying like I know everything. I know a little bit, like a tiny bit. But that tiny bit is way more than the average American, trust me. They just don't pay attention. You don't want to think. It's so fucking boring, man. It's just I want to be entertained, and finance is not something that people really think a lot about. They want to think a lot about. The average person, anyway. Like I said, they're more concerned about their family, paying their fucking bills, their relationships, whatever personal, like what's going on in their own like personal life. So it's you can't just. Some people will be able to handle it, like I said, in some circumstances. And if they do come out with reparations, because JFK is talking about he's cool with like a certain type of reparations. I think he kind of wants to like rebuild the infrastructure. Like if we're gonna rebuild the infrastructure in areas that are dilapidated, like, can we have a little like law enforcement to prevent riots and mass theft? I think that honestly, like, I want to make a prediction. I think that we're not going to be going to the stores. I think stores are going to change. I think it's going to be, it's mostly going to just be online. You just go pick it up. And I'm cool with that. I'm definitely cool with that. You know, I do that now, but I mean, they pay, you got to pay like an extra fee. So I just go and do it myself. But like, if it was damn near free, pretty close to free, for me to go on the internet and then just order everything, like that's so much easier on me. That's so much of a time saver. I can just go through my house and just start ordering shit on my phone on the internet and then just send it there. They get it, everything, because like sometimes I'm in the store and I don't know where shit's at and I need it and I gotta ask this person, and I don't want to talk to I don't want to talk to a cashier. I always feel like, for me, I feel awkward as hell, man. They don't really talk to them. I say, like, this is the conversation. How are you doing? And then it's fucking awkward silence. I'm like, good, how are you doing? That's what it is most of the time with me. I don't care about what's going on in their life. They don't care about what's going on in our life. It's kind of like an awkward thing. And that's why I go to self-checkout and I hear people, oh, I don't want to bag my own. Like, I'm happy to bag my own groceries. I ain't got to talk to no. And I can do it way quicker. You know, you get stuck in this line. And it's first, for me, it's highly awkward because I don't want to have a fucking stupid, simple conversation with this person. And they really don't want to have a conversation. They don't give a fuck. They just have to be there. Yeah, it's so much better to just order. I just walk to my house, see what I need, go up there, search by the name of whatever it is, find it, add it to my cart, pay my bill on the internet, show up. Hey, they bring the shit right out to my car. I ain't got to bag nothing. I ain't got to sit here ring anything up. They've already done all that shit. That's fucking beautiful, man. Dude, I hate shopping. And most men fucking hate shopping. It's the women that like to go in there and browse the shit and fucking look at this, look at that. When I go into a store, dude, I fucking hate going into a store. I hate it. I hate having it's just the whole thing. I don't, it's not fun to me at all. Even if it's something I want to buy, I'm excited, like when I was getting my Xbox, the new upgrade. Dude, I would rather have it delivered to my fucking house than go to the damn store and pick it up. It was cool when I got my TV. My TV broke and I had to get a new one. You know, I did that. I just ordered it on the internet, went to the store, and they brought it out to my car. That shit was fucking badass, man. That's where we're going. So you won't have any more flash mobs, because there might be some stores that are nostalgic, that have high security. It'll be more of a luxury. It'll be for more rich people that can go to these fucking stores, and then you can go pick out your products yourself and go to the cashier and have your little conversation. I want to say, like, going to a store in a small town is a lot different than going to a store in a big city, because, like, in a small town, chances are I might see the same cashier repeatedly. When you're into, like, a bigger city, like, I think the city I'm in currently has like 30,000 people, something like that. You see different cashiers all the fucking time. So you can develop more of a connection with this one cashier because it's a small town. What happens in these cities is we don't care about each other, man. We don't care. It's so individualistic. There's no community, and that's what's huge. That's what's lacking with the people. That's probably the most major problem we have with society, is the lack of community, and that's why a lot of people are like fucking highly depressed, and they don't feel like they're a part of anything. So, like, they go towards politics, and try to connect with people who they relate with somewhat with politics, and it's more tribal. Because we're tribal, man. Humans are tribal. I think that we thrive. I think that humans thrive in small communities, like a family. Obviously, like, the family structure, the nuclear family structure, is a socialist type of structure, a communist type of structure, where you go with the dad, or typically it could be the mom that goes out and works, and the dad stays home and takes care of the kids. Whatever. Just take care of your own fucking kids. You know, if you don't want to take care of your kids, if you don't want to fucking, if you want to pawn them off to the fucking daycare, you're fucking them up. Just, if you want to have kids, fucking raise them yourself, man. So, like, the kid can feel love from you. If you don't want to do that, then don't fucking have kids, because you don't fucking love them. You're not willing to sacrifice your fucking career for your kid. You don't love your kid. And this, I'm speaking mostly to women right now, and some women, and I understand there's a lack of masculinity nowadays, and they don't trust men's leadership, but then they need to fucking evolve. Like, then accept that you go do your thing, you make your fucking money for the family, and accept the man's not going to make as much money as you. Women need to, like, there needs to be a fucking change where women need to start taking on the mentality of not this, like, I make my fucking money, but I need somebody that makes equal or more than me. No, it needs to be like, I really like this person, and they need to change their fucking mentality, man, if we're going to continue this society. Or they have to accept somebody of a lower status. Because we need to help each other, man. Like, we complement each other. And raising kids, dude, it's so fucking hard as a single person to raise kids. But kids need to be planned out nowadays. Especially nowadays, if you're going to have kids, they need to be fucking planned out. You can't just be fucking around anymore, man. You can't just go out there and just randomly have kids like you could in the past. Like, if I have a kid, I do. If I don't, like, it's so expensive. So expensive, so they need to be planned out. Um, but staying home in those, when the kid is so small, and raising the kid yourself, it develops a bond with the kid. There's a lot of the kids is so vulnerable at that age, man. They're like they can't do anything for themselves, and then you throw them out with strangers and all these other kids they don't know. It's so it creates abandonment issues, man. Like it really does. Until they get to a certain age. Like I went through childcare when I was like in like 4 or whatever. I remember going to daycare. And my parents split up when I was 3, so like you can imagine the abandonment issues I felt then, and I still have to deal with now. Probably gonna have to deal with for the rest of my life. But it is fucking horrible on kids. So if you fucking actually care about kids and care about the future and care about their mental health and emotional health, then you need to put your fucking career last and accept maybe you're not going to be able to keep up with the Joneses. Maybe you're not going to have 2 vacations a year. Maybe you won't be able to go on vacation for like 5 years. But what you're doing is you're building up a emotionally healthy child. And then once that's over, you have all the fucking time in the world to go do whatever the fuck you want. And it might be 20 years later. No, it's not 20 years later, but you know, kids are highly dependent, especially when they're little. They're highly dependent on their parents. So be a parent. Stop pawning your kid off on the grandparents are not babysitters. You know? Like, you know, if my kids had kids, like, I'm not your fucking babysitter, dude. You know, I'll take your kid and watch your kid have fun with your kid and definitely connect with my grandkid and all that. You know what I mean? And do, you know, take my grandkid to the park and give him a break every now and then. But it's not like I'm a full-time babysitter so you can go to work because you... No, man. That's not how it works. I know people where they're such a piece of shit that the fucking grandparent is now raising the kids. I know people like that. And that's fucking horrible, man. That's fucking horrible. It's the worst. Besides, like, kids have to go that go through like fucking sexual experiences by fucking gross adults that shouldn't be on this planet. But yeah, it's like this society is not meant for us to all gather in these cities and live in these cities. We need familiarity. And I think that it's either going to be more concentrated with these cities or less and be decentralized. And I think that people have the same mentality as me or will be more decentralized, and people who are more left are just going to continue to they're going to be in the digital realm most of the time. I want to be able to come and go as I please. I want to be able to go for a hike in nature. I want to experience nature. I want to go to the beach and experience it for real, because technology isn't there yet. And it probably won't ever be there in my lifetime where I feel like a genuine human experience and feel everything and smell and taste because some things are cool in life. Right now, it seems like a lot of things suck in life. But there's some cool things, you know, like when you like really connect with somebody and you adore them and they adore you, and obviously the honeymoon phase is like a really cool experience in a relationship. When you're all into each other and you can't get enough of each other and you want to be around each other all the time. It's a cool experience. It's a cool experience when your ego's being like pumped up, you know, when somebody's showing interest in you that you have interest in, you know what I mean? And that's cool. But there's going to be a lot of simulations in the future. And some things I'm cool with, some things I'm not. Like I said, I'm the type of person that wants to come and go as I please. I do like the digital realm. I use it a lot. But I also like things in real life, to go for a walk in nature, you know? So I think this video is long enough.